brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Ricky Romero will go to the mound today, pitching for the sweep. The Blue Jays last had a sweep at the hands of the St. Louis Cardinals to wrap up interleague play. Ricky Romero was on the mound on that Sunday to beat the Cardinals 5-0. He'll try to do the same here this afternoon. But it's been a different story since he's entered the month of July.
Well, I don't think he can pitch any better than he did that day in St. Louis. That was on June the 26th, a complete game shutout. He gave up just 4 hits. He had all of his pitches working. And the key for Romero that day, and what we haven't seen since, is his breaking ball, throwing it for a called strike, or throwing his changeup for a called strike. You can see in his 3 July starts, he hasn't won. His ERA is over 6, but the pitches per inning, getting close to 20 pitches per inning. He's usually around 14 or 15. Just too many pitches, and I think a lot of it has to do with his off-speed pitches, not being able to throw them for called strikes.
The league has learned him a little bit more. They understand what Ricky Romero is trying to do, so they will lay off those borderline off-speed pitches. That elevates his pitching count. He's going to have to pitch ahead today to be successful against the Mariners. Take a look at the Mariners lineup. This lineups are brought to you by TD Canada Trust. Banking can be this comfortable. Ichiro Suzuki having a down year, batting just .260. Brendan Ryan, what a series he's had against the Blue Jays. He's done everything with the bat. Adam Kennedy had a home run in last night's game. Miguel Olivo back behind the plate this afternoon. Smoke Bard Gutierrez, middle of the order. Sean Figgins makes his first start in left field, and Jack Wilson is at second.
Today's starting pitchers are brought to you by Tim Hortons Original Biscuit Breakfast Sandwich, now with hickory smoked ham. That last start against St. Louis that we were just talking about, that was a stretch where Ricky Romero had gone at least 7 innings in 9 straight starts. It ended on that June 26th. That was the last time he went 7. He hasn't gone past 7 since then. Some of that has to do with the Phillies, the Red Sox, and the Yankees. Those are the 3 teams that Romero has pitched against since that St. Louis start. So they are a good offensive team. He's a good pitcher. He just hasn't been able to get the length that he needs. He threw a 5-hit complete game loss on April the 12th at Safeco Field. That was a 3-2 loss to the Mariners in 4 career meetings. He's got an ERA of just over 3.
Defensively, the outfit we saw 2 days ago, Tuesday here, with Patterson, Snyder, and Eric Thames, 3 left-handed bats in the outfield. Escobar McCoy up the middle. Mike McCoy making his 8th start at second base. And Carnacion's at third. Adam Lind across the diamond at first base. And J.P. Arancibia teams up with Ricky Romero.
What a defensive series and offensive series so far for Travis Snyder. He was playing center field the other day, made a great catch, had a great throw. He picked up his 4th outfield assist in that game. And Mike McCoy gets his first start at second base since July the 5th.
We are set for play. Ichiro takes the first pitch inside. Ichiro Suzuki, just 2 hits in the series so far. Both singles to center. McCoy knocks it down. He won't have a play. Ichiro runs too well. McCoy got a glove on it, but he couldn't do much more. Ichiro with his 3rd hit.
What a start. A line drive, McCoy right at you. Hey, come on into the ball game. Almost comes up with a spectacular play. But Ichiro Suzuki's so good about those infield hits. Had 59 infield hits last year. And there's another one.
Numbers have been down dramatically in that department for Ichiro. Mariners trying to snap an 11-game losing streak. Brendan Ryan fouls that right off his foot. I mentioned Ryan has had a great run against the Blue Jays this season. He's hitting .474, 9 for 19.
He wears the big padding on that leg, all the way up that shin over the shoe. It looks like he's still got some of that on that foul ball. Right off the padding, it still can hurt.
Boy, that's as extensive a pad as we have seen on a hitter's leg. He's got that foot covered, he's got the shin covered, and it still hurts. 6 for 10 in the series, including his first home run of the season. Bouncing ball to short. Escobar to second for 1. Back to first. In time, and what a play. Mike McCoy Unloaded in a hurry at second, and how about Adam Lind at first? He looks so comfortable at first base digging those low throws out. What a double play.
It all starts with a good feed from the shortstop, and Escobar's been playing some great shortstop. Ryan can run and so can Suzuki. Watch the feed. He goes to his right. Snap throw right on line for McCoy, who gets rid of it and then dug out by Adam Lind over at first base. And in between, Hoppy just stays down right with it. And a big double play by the Blue Jays.
That's the 14th double play turn behind Ricky Romero. He'll get a lot of ground balls, and what a job by the infield. Mike McCoy really did a great job of coming across the bag, but it was the good feed of Escobar that initiated that double play.
It shortens the throw just a little bit between the shortstop and the second baseman if you can come across the bag and clear yourself away from that runner. You get rid of it a little bit quicker, and they turn a nifty double play.
Adam Kennedy strikes out. The throw to first. A quick inning for Ricky Romero. A strikeout and a double play. So he erases the leadoff single. Half inning, scoreless ball game. Rogers Center on a hot afternoon. It's the third and final game. The Blue Jays are 49-49, trying to go over 500 for the first time since June 18th. Escobar, Thames, Bautista, top three in the order. Adam Lind had his home run in last night's game, number 18 for Lind. Encarnacion's been swinging a hot bat, as has Travis Snyder. Corey Patterson starts in left. Aaron Seeley behind the plate. And what a turn by Mike McCoy, getting his opportunity at second base.
Doug Fister's 27 years old, makes his 20th start of this season. Now his one-loss record is not very good, but his ERA is outstanding. 3.18 for Fister, trying to avoid a career-high tying 7th consecutive loss.
Well, we have seen Fister in the past. Blue Jays are familiar with him, and they know you step in the box, you better be ready.
He works quickly. He throws a lot of strikes. He's 0-2 with a .430 earned run average lifetime versus the Blue Jays.
And a jam shot to the second baseman. Jack Wilson, underhand toss. That broke that bat in half.
Defensively for Seattle this afternoon, you got to be on your toes when Fister is on the mound, and he'll put the ball in play. John Pickens will get the start in the outfield. His first start in the outfield this season. He's played third base the rest of the way for the Seattle Mariners. Gutierrez in center field, Ichiro Suzuki in right field, Kennedy, Bryan, Wilson, and Justin Smoke along the infield left to right, and Miguel Olivo, a very good throwing catcher. After the off day last night, will be behind the plate.
Eric Thames makes a first pitch strike. He's behind 0-2. Thames had a two-run double in the second inning last night. He finished up the night 1 for 5. Had a third RBI taken away from him by an overzealous fan down the left field line. Fan reached over and grabbed the baseball. If ball was still in play, it would have been another RBI for Thames.
When that fan touched the ball, Escobar was just touching third base and had to go back. Don't finish with 99.
Two and two, one out. It's outside. You see Miguel Olivo very subtly touched his left shoulder to remind Pfister to stay closed. He'll give you some pitches to hit. Challenge is to get him in the air. He's only given up 6 home runs all season long. This is his 20th start.
He's walked just 28 batters. Works quickly. Throws a lot of strikes. You're right. The ball will be put in play.
Change up. Good off-speed pitch. Late movement. He gets his first strikeout of the afternoon.
He shook to this changeup. Felt that Thames was on his fastball. Throws the changeup, and Eric swings right through it.
Jose Bautista had a double in last night's game. He also walked twice, once intentionally. Walked 3 times. Actually, I was right the first time. He walked twice. 2-0. Pfister with that puzzled look in at Tom Hallion, the home plate umpire.
Well, he tried the outside corner, then the inside corner, and didn't get either one of them.
We'll go for that. That would be number 32 if he hits one there. There's a strike. Took something off. Just a little bit of a cutter. Takes it off the end of the bat.
That one might have got Miguel Olivo just a little bit. That's why Tom Hallion, the crew chief, is out there to pass out the ball to Pfister.
Bautista with his .332 average is 3rd in the American League. Adrian Gonzalez leads. How about Casey Kotzman of the Rays? He's number 2 now. Ooh, an excuse me swing, and that's a fair ball. Well, you talk about a lot of late movement. That ball came inside, and Bautista was just ducking out of the way, and he'll ground out to first. It is a cool afternoon here at Rogers Center. It's camp day. A lot of kids in attendance, and the roof is closed. It's a great place to spend the afternoon. It'll be the cleanup hitter, Miguel Olivo, leading things off. Olivo started in the opener. Played in that 14-inning game and got the second game off. He had a single in his first at-bat. Finished up 1 for 6.
Good production. 12 home runs, 40 RBIs for Miguel Olivo. That's good numbers playing in that ballpark.
Bouncing ball to third. Encarnacion has it. 1 out.
This afternoon's scouting report for Ricky Romero is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. He's got the full arsenal: the fastball, the curve, the slider, and the changeup. The drop-in curve. He's got to be able to drop that ball in and get some called strikes. And more strikes, less pitches. His last time out, he only threw 5 innings. It took him 107 pitches. The time before that, 4 1/3, 96 pitches. If he throws more strikes, he's going to last longer in the game.
It's every starter's goal is to pitch deep into a game and give your team a chance to give you some run support. Justin Smoke, first baseman, switch hitter, batting right-handed against Ricky Romero. Drills that ball right to the third baseman. That'll keep the pitch count down.
Edwin Encarnacion has done this on this homestand about 3 or 4 times. Positioned perfectly as that ball was hooked right at him. Edwin said, "I saw that one very clearly." He'll get help, the third baseman, at times from the shortstop on an off-speed pitch, so he can anticipate a ball being hit like that down to him.
First pitch changeup, Josh Bard. The DH here this afternoon, he's a switch hitter as well, so he bats right-handed against Romero.
It might not be a good idea to go up there hitting right-handed. Romero really handles right-handers a lot better than the lefties. And I think a lot of that has to do with his changeup and with his curveball when he's throwing it for strikes. Right-handers have a tough time picking it up.
The curveball has bounced in the dirt. Right-handers hitting 220 against Ricky Romero. Left-handers 274. Your numbers back up what you're talking about. Might be better off hitting as a left-hander against Romero.
I think you might take the changeup away. You might be inclined to throw more fastballs and curveballs.
Two and two, 2 outs. Lays off that off-speed pitch, down and away. It's full count.
He's got a good changeup. It works like a palm ball where there's tumbling action, or like a split finger fastball, and he's got great arm action on it also. He's got to throw it a little bit higher in the strike zone and make them offer at it. The good teams just take it.
Strike 3 call. Tom Hallion calls the low fastball. Bard didn't agree with it. Ricky Romero has a 1-2-3 second. He's thrown just 17 pitches. Bottom of the second inning, Adam Lind has homered in each of the first 2 games. Edwin Encarnacion 3 hits and a home run last night. Travis Snyder 5 RBIs in the game last night. There's the ERA, very good, but the problem has been lack of run support.
How about just 2 runs in his last 4 starts to work with? You're not going to win many games when that happens. You put him on a team that scores a lot of runs, and this guy is a 10, 12 game winner already. That's how well he has pitched this year.
Ball on the strike. When you look at the flip side and the guys that get all the run support, John Lester, 7.32 runs per start. CC Sabathia, over 7 runs. Derek Holland also gets about 6 3/4 runs per start. They're good pitchers, but they also get a lot of run support.
Yeah, that half of the equation is being a good pitcher. The 3 guys you named are that. Fister's the same way. He just needs some runs to work with.
Adam Lind pops it out of play. Lind has homered in each of the first 2 games of this series. He had a 2-run first-inning home run off Michael Pineda in the opener, and then hit a solo shot in the 7th against Aaron Laffey. 18 home runs on the season.
The RBIs climbing now. 55 RBIs. He took Michael Pineda deep that first game.
Breaking ball in, chases it, and Oliva will put the tag on him. First out of the 2nd inning.
So the scouting report for 27-year-old Doug Fister, he creates an angle. He's 6'8", and he's got a great downward plane with that fastball. He's basically a sinker-slider type of pitcher. He's got an improved cutter this year, and he really plays up to his velocity, the size, the movement. He's got enough fastball with those other pitchers that he has that his fastball's good enough. I was looking at some of the numbers on Fister and the runs that they have scored for him. He's made 19 starts this year, and 13 of them he has received 1 or fewer runs to work with.
Gets to be very frustrating as a pitcher, but all you can do is control your pitching, and he's done that very effectively. This is popped up and playable. And then Ryan, the shortstop. 2 down. This Mariners staff is 2nd in the American League in ERA, and they have pitched very well, but you can see the worst run support this season. Fister is 1st in the American League. He is getting just over 2 runs per start. Vargas is 6th. Felix Hernandez is 12th, and Michael Pineda is 15th. They got 4 of their starters in the top 15 in poorest run support in the American League. Travis Snyder, good play by Smoke. Quick inning for Doug Fister, and he will do that. There's 24 pitches through 2 innings for the big right-hander, 8 in the 2nd. Sunday, when the 2011 Baseball Hall of Fame class is inducted in Cooperstown, Rogers Sportsnet will be there. The coverage will begin at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Pat Gillick, Robbie Alomar, former Expos broadcaster Dave Van Horn will be on Sunday afternoon in Cooperstown. Join Jamie Campbell, Craig Zahn, Arash Madani, and Shai Davidi as Sportsnet covers the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies like never before. Once again, that's Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific. Franklin Gutierrez, the center fielder, off the base, fair ball down the left side. Corey Patterson gets there quickly and keeps Gutierrez to a long single. Hit right off the back of the third base bag.
And that might have given the Blue Jays a break. This ball was hit hard. If it does not hit the bag, it goes all the way into the corner, and it's probably a double for Gutierrez, but it bounces high into the air. Patterson is able to go over there, cut it off, and hold him to a single.
Sean Figgins batting in the 8th spot in a similar situation in the opener. He bunted the ball toward the second baseman, ended up with a base hit. Not showing bunt this time, takes a strike. Figgins playing in the outfield, as Pat mentioned, making his first start. He was a super utility player when he first came up with the Angels in 2002, playing all over the field.
I think the only position he did not play was pitcher, catcher, and first base for the Angels. That's how valuable he was when he was there.
Well, they brought a dimension of speed to that Angel team, and eventually they would win the World Series. He has really had a struggle since signing with the Mariners as a free agent.
You mentioned the speed. He's had 5 straight seasons of at least 40 stolen bases. Imperative to keep him off the base paths.
It was an interesting sign by the Mariners. He's really not an impact player. He's more of a complementary player that will help out a good team. I really see him being an asset to a team like the Yankees or the Red Sox, somebody they can use as a super utility player, starting maybe 4 times a week in several different positions, and you add his speed to the lineup.
And give some of the veteran players an off day. You can give Derek Jeter an off day if he's with the Yankees, Cano and A-Rod. I agree with that.
0-2, he strikes out. Ricky Romero with his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
It's always a good sign when you see a good breaking ball for Romero and you've got the opposition swinging at it, and it's down. 3rd strikeout already for Romero.
Well, we mentioned Romero had a tough start to his July, and that's been something he has battled the last couple of years. Jack Wilson, the 9-hitter, takes the first pitch strike. Ricky Romero just in his 3rd big league season, learning more about himself all the time, but the last 2 years he's really hit a roadblock in July. Not unusual for a younger pitcher to try to really figure out how to maintain stamina and stay sharp through the course of a 6-month season. It's a lot of starts.
July, you start getting a little bit tired. You start humping up on the ball and start pushing it instead of getting out there with a nice free action and pitching.
Fly ball into center field. Travis Snyder calling for it. Wilson's retired. They're 2 down.
You know, it takes even big guys, and we've seen Pineda in this series. We've seen CC Sabathia, A.J. Burnett, David Price, big guys. They always hit a wall at some point, too. But because they're so big and because they're so physical, they can make that 33, 34 starts in a year. Doesn't mean they're tired. They're not tired in July and August.
Physically demanding position. Being a starting pitcher. There goes Gutierrez. Aaron Sevia's throw is high and not in time. A 2-out steal. Gutierrez with his 6th of the season.
It's only been thrown out 2 times this year, and he stole that one on Ricky Romero. With 2 outs, he went on the first movement when Romero went to home, and it got a huge jump.
Inside. Ichiro had an infield single off the glove of Mike McCoy at second. Inside.
So much has been talked about Ichiro Suzuki's having a bad year, and his average is way down. He is tied for third in the American League in multi-hit games with 37 already this year. So the consistency might not be there, but he's still a very dangerous hitter.
And he takes a 4-pitch walk. Well, the Mariners will get their hottest hitter to the plate. Brendan Ryan has been on fire in this series. Ryan had 3 hits in last night's game. He had 3 hits, including a home run in the opener. Been on base 8 times in the series.
He's had a good month of July, a tick just under 300. And over his last 9, his batting average is at 350. Using the whole field. He has hit some balls to center and to right field already in this series.
There goes Gutierrez. Ichiro follows him into second. The throw is offline, and Mike McCoy just saved a run. McCoy's momentum was going toward the bag at second to cover and make the catch on the throw. Aaron Sevilla, it tailed back toward right field. What a play he made.
He saved a run, maybe 2 right here. They try to get the back runner, Suzuki, and it looked like Aaron Sevilla had to throw over Brendan Ryan. With the ball sails on, and Mike McCoy with showing some athleticism with a good play to keep that ball in the infield.
Second and third, 2 outs. Ryan takes a pitch inside. Two and 0. Left-handed batting Adam Kennedy on deck. Got a base open here. Good pitch. Really tied up Ryan on the inside part of the plate.
He likes the ball out in front where he can do something with it, where he can try and push the ball to right field or turn on it if he wants to. Romero threw that cutter right in on his hands and really tied him up.
Good pitch. Another good spot on the inside edge. Romero doesn't have to give in to Brendan Ryan here. Now he needs to get him to chase something, but Ryan will be in a swing mode. 2-2, 2 outs. It's been a tough season for starters in Seattle. They haven't been able to come up with the clutch hits. Now you've got Ryan trying to protect the plate with 2 strikes, and he will chase anything. Chris Chambliss, the hitting coach, has worked long and hard trying to get some of these young guys on track, even the veterans like Josh Bard. Can't figure out what it's going to take to get them turned around.
He's got plenty of weapons, certainly, to go to try and get him out.
2-2, 2 outs. Goes after another borderline pitch. Keep him in a chase mode. Ryan's a very confident hitter right now. Second and third, 2 outs. Scoreless ball game. We're in the top of the third. Strike 3 call. Backdoor curveball, and Ryan strikes out. Ricky Romero has shut out the Mariners through the first 3 innings, and the strikeout is big. Adam Kennedy on a breaking ball. Josh Bard takes a low fastball. Sean Figgins another breaking ball. And the big curveball catches the outside corner to close out the third. Scoreless ball game, middle of the third. Rogers Center. There'll be a pregame ceremony. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Roberto Alomar Hall of Fame bobblehead. Robbie Alomar's number 12 will also be retired on that date. For tickets and more information, call the Blue Jays directly at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com. Or, of course, you can always pick up tickets at your Rogers Plus locations. Robbie Alomar, Hall of Fame Day, July 31st, right here at Rogers Center. His number and name already on the level of excellence here at Rogers Center. His number will become the first Blue Jays number to be retired in franchise history. Mr. misses with the first pitch curveball. Corey Patterson in left field today as part of that 3 left-handed hitting outfield that John Farrell likes. Defensively, how do you think that outfield has played?
They've only been together one time, and that was the first game in this series. They look good. Patterson came up with a very good play in left field. Travis Snyder also had a very good play in center field and an outfield assist. So they did okay.
Defense has been good. Adam Lind has been outstanding at first base. His first season at first base in the big leagues. Patterson goes too far. Third strikeout for Pfister. He's retired 6-7 straight.
You know, I watched Travis Snyder in the outfield, and he looks very confident and taking charge. Watch this ball ride up on Corey Patterson. He just can't hold up as he offers at it. Snyder looks confident, patrolling the outfield. Rajai Davis, his speed is something now that John Farrell can use when he wants to off the bench, like we saw the other night, or if he can come in as a defensive replacement. When he starts, he has been doing something for the team.
Justin Smoke on the warning track makes the catch just before he hit that wall along the first base foul line. He makes the catch, and Aaron Sevia is retired.
Looked like he was dealing with that little partition that jets out from those comfy seats. The camera well, if you will. It stayed right with it, made the play.
Smoke, in his first full season in the big leagues, has taken some time off from first base and been a DH occasionally. Mike McCoy getting the start at second. McCoy was in the middle of a very good 6-4-3 double play in the first inning. He led Las Vegas in 26 games in hitting, and I don't know how he did it, considering how many times he had to go back and forth.
This is his 5th trip to Toronto, up and down. Every team has one of those type of players every year that they are the swing guy, and he's handled it great.
Well, he sure has, and he can do so many things for John Farrell. He can play in the outfield, he can play all the infield positions, and he adds the speed dimension to the bench.
He has come off the bench a couple of times this year and had big stolen bases in close games.
He had a steal in the opener in this series after he came on late in the ball game as a pinch runner.
It's nice to have a utility type of player who can play in the middle of the diamond defensively, but also can play in the corners. He's played some third base. He started some games in third. He started the game in left field, and then short and second.
It says breaking ball into center. Gutierrez, boy, it's tough to get a hit in center field with him out there. Gold Glover corrals it. Doug Pfister has retired 9 straight.
Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Roof is closed here at Rogers Center. It's a hot day outside, a very comfortable day inside. Adam Kennedy struck out his first time up. That ended the first inning. Ricky Romero has 4 strikeouts. Ball is sliced into left field. Corey Patterson makes a sliding catch. That ball was diving on him. Wasn't hit that hard and had a lot of sink, but the defense has been on their toes behind Romero.
As an outfielder, when you see the big type of swing that we saw from Adam Kennedy, you think the ball is going to be hit harder. But Patterson reads the ball that it's off the bat, and it was sinking quickly, and he makes a nice play. He looks good in left field.
His best position in the outfield. I mentioned that to him yesterday. I said, boy, you're playing great out there for whatever reason. He reads the ball very well off the bat. Miguel Olivo goes after the first pitch. He lifts a lazy fly ball into center field. 2 quick outs for Romero.
Just what the doctor ordered for Ricky Romero so far this afternoon. Quick innings, lots of strikes, go deep into the game.
We mentioned Romero's kind of hit a roadblock here this season. League is hitting .313 against him in the month of July. His ERA is up over 6. In June, hitters batted just .229 against Romero, and he had a .250 ERA.
I think he would be the first to admit that he hasn't pitched well in the month of July, and he hasn't been able to throw strikes consistently. But a lot of it has to do with the 3 teams that he has faced in July. Philadelphia, it's an excellent offensive team. Boston, and New York. And what do all 3 of those teams have in common?
Patient, experienced hitters
who don't offer at his changeup and his breaking ball.
That's why his pitch per innings is up near 20 pitches per innings.
So once he figures out how to throw a changeup like that, that one where it was right there was perfect. It was down and in. I don't know, for some reason against those teams he puts a little bit more on it and bounces it in the dirt. He can't get the curveball over. But they just take it until they get to 2 strikes.
Once again, a reminder, Romero's just in his 3rd season as a starter. You look around the league and you start to comparing Ricky Romero to CC Sabathia or John Lester or Josh Beckett. All those guys have a lot more starts under their belt. Bouncing ball. Escobar has some time. Another quick inning for Ricky Romero. Just 8 pitches. He's had 42 through 4 innings. He's on a good pace. Braves today, it's number 3 on the Robbie Alomar hit list.
There have been some good defensive second basemen in all of baseball, but I don't think anyone has had the type of range that Robbie Alomar displayed when he was playing. Watch where this ball goes off the bat of Lenny Dykstra in the 1993 World Series, and who comes up with it. Sensational play. That he almost ended up in foul territory on that little bloop.
Caught it right behind John Olerud. A reminder, the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies will be covered by Rogers Sportsnet. It'll all begin at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 10 a.m. Pacific Time on Sunday. Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn will be there to keep you up to date on everything that's going on. The induction ceremonies will begin at 1:30 p.m. this Sunday.
And if you can't be there, you can't watch it, tape it.
Yeah, it'll be a great moment. I talked to Sandy Alomar Jr. in Cleveland, and he, of course, is going there and taking his whole family there. I said, "You're going to see your brother cry." He said, "I've never seen my brother cry." I said, "I guarantee he's going to cry." Tom Seaver has a great thought process on that whole thing. He said he always knows that everybody's going to cry when they mention that special person. The ball jams Escobar. Brian's got a strong arm. 1 out. But Seaver, when Brett and Nolan Ryan and Robin Yount went in 99, he went up to George Brett and said, "Who is it?" He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Who is it?" So what do you mean? He said, "Who's that person that's going to make you cry in your speech?"
Yeah.
And George said, "My brother."
Yeah.
Ken Brett. And now, of course, Ken Brett has passed away. But yeah, there's always somebody you mention in those speeches that will start the waterworks.
Brings back the flood of memories of how you got there.
Yeah.
That one coach or that one person, your father, somebody.
Eric Thames hits it into right field. That'll get down in front of Ichiro. He smothers it to keep Thames at first. That's the first base runner for the Blue Jays. Mister had retired 10 straight.
It's one thing that we have noticed about Eric Thames is he hits good pitchers. Drops this one in front of the Gold Glover Ichiro. He's won 10 consecutive Gold Gloves. If you can't catch it, you got to keep it in front of you on this carpet.
Pfister, 10 straight retired, a 1-out single. Bautista. It's a first pitch strike. Jose Bautista, very unusual, took a check swing at a ball up and in, and it stayed fair down the first base line. He never got out of the batter's box.
Ball really ran in on him. From Doug Pfister, fastball that really jammed him. He's trying to get out of the way and unfortunately kept it fair.
Look out, Butter. Couldn't get out of the way of that one. Didn't hurt.
He can't hurt me.
No.
Don't be telling that to your hitter now. The hazards of playing third base.
Look at Bautista. He felt bad that it hit Butterfield. 0-2, 1 out. Off the glove of Olivo, and that'll move Thames into second. Well, I tell you what, Doug Pfister has electric stuff. That ball was flying all over the place.
Tough to corral it. A couple of strikes. Watch this one just take off on him. Got the new and improved cutter this year. That's what he looked like he was throwing there.
It's a wild pitch charged to Pfister. That eliminates the possibility of a ground ball double play. Boy, this is quite a battle. You can see Bautista's really having a tough time with the movement of Pfister. Going back to that first at bat. Once again, it validates just exactly how good Doug Pfister is, despite a 3-11 record.
6'8". He creates a very good downward plane and gets a lot of action on his pitches.
There's a drive into center field, but Gutierrez reacts quickly and makes the catch. Well, he can play some D. He gets good reads, good jumps, and Thames has to hold his ground at second.
He's only made 45 starts in center field, and he's now tied for 10th in the American League in outfield assists.
Homer Bush, Cito Gaston, Paul Beeston. A lot of people on hand here. And we will be joined by Paul Beeston in the next half inning. He'll come in and give us some thoughts about the upcoming ceremonies in Cooperstown. Pat Gillick, Robbie Alomar will go in representing the Blue Jays. Bert Blyleven, Dave Van Horn also will be inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. High fly ball left field. Sean Figgins came in initially. Now he retreats, makes the catch. The Blue Jays finally break through against Doug Fister. They get a base hit, but he strands things at second base. We've played 4 innings. It's a scoreless ball game. Now it's time for a connected update with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Blackberry. Blue Jays, Paul Beeston. And Paul, obviously a lot of excitement around the organization, but give us your personal thoughts about watching Pat Gillick and Robbie Alomar go into the Hall of Fame this weekend.
Oh, I think it's going to be special. I've been down there, I think, on 12 or 13 occasions, but this one is going to be the best for me personally. I think for Toronto, I think for the Blue Jays. And we know Pat will cry. We know Robbie will speak Spanish. They're both talking pretty good right now, but once they get in front of those people, Tabby, let me tell you something. It will be a little bit different for them, but I think it's terrific. I think it's a great feel.
We just talked about that. Tom Seaver always says there's a key person during your speech, and once you mention that name, that opens up the floodgates.
There's no question.
And for Gillick, it'll be when he says hello.
That's exactly right. I mean, or before when they say Pat Gillick. But I mean, he deserves it. I think it's going to be a terrific honor. But I mean, what he represents from scouting, from development, what he's built, his whole career, culminating with all the people that are going to be there that are scouts, that are development people. I think it's going to be terrific.
You worked with him long and hard, and you've been here since day one. What does it mean to the city, to the organization, that the first Blue Jay recognition goes into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I think with Robbie going in, I mean, with putting that cap on, it's quite special. Robbie had a career that I don't think has to take a second place to anybody at second base. Arguably there may be people that were as good as him, but nobody was any better. And for him to go in and say, want to go in as a Toronto Blue Jay, took the call here. I mean, was a little nervous. Mm-hmm. That day, you don't know what's going to happen. He missed by, 8 votes a year before? So I think it's very important, Pat. I mean, when you think about what Robbie did and how much fun he created for the city, and you think of the way he did it, it was terrific.
2 quick outs here in the 5th inning. And when you go back to the time when you heard about Robbie Alomar, obviously you're a big fan, and people don't know how passionate you are about this game. But what did you think when you first saw Robbie Alomar take the field in a Blue Jays uniform and watched him play second base?
Well, that's a good question, Buck, because, to be honest with you, Moose Johnson had said that he is the second best second baseman in the game the day we traded for him. The best being Ryan Sandberg at that point in time. Robbie then came over here, and he was just a person who enjoyed playing the game. And it didn't take long for us to realize that it wasn't what he did, it's when he did it. You know, if you needed a key defensive play, he made it. You needed a stolen base, he did it. Needed a home run, he got it. Needed a drive in a run, whatever it was. But he did it so effortlessly. I mean, I don't know about you, you two who played the game, but he seemed to me one of those guys that really didn't need to take infield, didn't need to take batting practice. He'd just go there. But, you know, the rules said he had to be there.
Well, I think Pat and I both played with George Brett, and we saw the similarities. And I know how much you love George Brett. You had him throw out the first pitch.
You know, George was something, though, and it still is something. And he'll be there tomorrow. What's great about the Hall of Fame, and you know what's great about the Hall of Famers, you know, they all come up there, and there will be 50, 60, whatever is coming back, but they all come there. And every time you sit there and say, good guy, good guy, good guy, you know. And there is something quite unique about it, you know. And they all love playing the game. They all like getting together. And it's a terrific weekend. It's got a real feel to it that's quite special.
Take us back to the thought. You were in on the meetings trading with San Diego to get Alomar and Carter. What was the thought going on with the organization?
Well, I think felt that we had to make a change. You know, we had 85, we had 87, we had 89. 90, we kind of went down to the end, and I think at that point in time that there was a desire to make a change. And Joe McIlvain had gone over to San Diego, and Gordy Ash ran into him, and it started small. I mean, I can't remember if it started Robbie for Tony,
it started the other way,
or whether it started for Joe and Freddie.
Right.
But then it built, and then like you said, is this for real? Are we really going to do it? You know, like with Freddie McGriff. He might hit 500 home runs. Tony Fernandez, this is a Hall of, this is an all-star shortstop. So, you know, I said, what are we doing? We really don't know Robbie. You know, Joe we had seen in the American League was with Cleveland, but at the end, you know, we had made the determination to make some changes.
Did you ask Pat at that time, are you sure you know what you're doing?
No, no. I think we all went to bed. Are we really going to do this? And then the next morning, you know, let's go. You know, the trigger was pulled, the deal was made, and the rest is history. And you know, it was great to see that first All-Star game when all four of them were in it. I mean, this was a deal that worked out for both teams. And if you look at the four players, I mean, they all had sterling careers, coming in with one guy making the Hall of Fame, and who knows about Freddie.
When did you know, I mean, absolutely know that you said Alomar is a special player?
Well, I didn't think it took long after about probably 1992. I mean, 91, you wonder whether, you know, how good he is. That was his first year here. But by 92, you could see it. I mean, you could tell the way he carried it. But, you know, the funny thing about, I'll always remember about him, the first time we met him, Pat and I went down to the arbitration hearing. And arbitrations are not always fun times.
No.
And by the end of the arbitration, you know, where you talked about maybe your deficiencies, he said, see you guys in spring training. Like, there was no bitterness, there was no anger, there was nothing. And, you know, it was just him. Right. And, you know, and he's carried on that way the rest of his life. I mean, nothing really has changed with him.
The incredible thing about that trade is when you talk about the four personalities, not only were they great players, they're all great people.
Oh, no question.
And they really represent themselves and their organizations in a very professional manner.
Well, and you know what? I don't know if you saw Freddie was in for Joe Carter's golf.
Yeah, he was here with us.
Well, you know, I mean, Freddie looks like he looked when we traded him when he was 19 years old. He hasn't aged. Yeah. You know, and the others really haven't either. I mean, sometimes you look at Robbie and say, when are you going back out to play?
Well, the one thing that has to happen, and I know you feel the same way that I do, that we need to bring some of those guys back into the organization and rekindle the memories of 92, 93 and let everybody know what the organization has been about.
Well, I think that's right, Buck. But, you know, at the same time, we can't just remember the past. We got to start looking at the future. So, you know, we have Robbie back now as a special assistant to the organization. We have George Bell back as special assistant to the president. No one wanted him, so I took him.
You took him.
We have Tabby and we have you, Albert. You know, so I mean, it's there is that feel, but more and more, you know, there are guys like Homer Bush being in town today. You know, and these clinics that they're doing, you know, is reconnecting the players to the organization, and, you know, taking it across the country.
And Dwayne Ward's done a great job of spearheading that effort, and they had a great turnout all summer long.
They have. I mean, they're not even halfway through it, and, you know, it's every week, and they've just come back from Halifax. Everyone's been sold out, and I mean, it's been terrific for us.
Well, Pat Gillick, let's finish up with this great thought, because Pat Gillick, you guys worked alongside, and the whole premise was to bring scouting and development together. And he did such a terrific job. I can remember when I came in 81, I looked around the field. There were players everywhere. And some guys that you didn't even know. They were A-ball and double-A players. But he did such a great job of establishing that as the basis of this organization.
Yeah, and what he didn't get credit for was, he scouted scouts. I mean, we had a great group of scouts, and it was a collegial group. It was a lot of fun. We weren't expected to win early, so that gave us a little bit of a break, so we could give some players some chances. We had Matic to teach, and we had a lot of arguments in a lot of different venues.
That's that name again, Bobby Matic. It always comes about when we talk about great baseball for the Blue Jays. Ricky Romero strikes out Ichiro. Paul Beeston, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the weekend.
I'll give you a report.
Up, we fouled it off. We're not done yet.
I know when you want to get rid of somebody.
But I know you're going to enjoy it. You'll probably spend Saturday afternoon on the porch at the Otesaga Hotel.
I think there's a good shot that could be Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon. We have a board meeting down there at 1 o'clock. That'll be over, and then from then, it's just a great feel.
Yeah, there's nothing like the Saturday afternoon porch at the Otesaga Hotel. Ichiro singles into center field. Travis Snyder comes up with the throw. It's not in time. Return throw to second. Ichiro is safe. So the Mariners have taken a 1-0 lead here. Paul, we want to thank you again, and I know you're going to have a great weekend. And it's been a great week seeing Robbie and Sandy up here and his whole family. But enjoy the weekend, and thanks so much for your time.
Okay, thanks very much for having me, Buck.
All right, great to see you.
Enjoy it.
Okay,
you deserve it.
Okay, well, I don't know about that, but I'm going to have fun anyway.
That's Paul Beeston, the president and CEO of the Toronto Blue Jays, and he's going to be enjoying Cooperstown and all the festivities and a great weekend for the Blue Jays. Pat Gillick and Robbie Alomar will go into the Baseball Hall of Fame. So the Mariners have scored first. 2-out single by Ichiro Suzuki. Brennan Ryan fights one off.
2-out walks. They come back to get you.
Doesn't make any difference who you're playing or when they occur in a ball game. You walk somebody with 2 outs and they are going to come around to score more often than not.
What hurts is it's the bottom of the lineup, number 8, and then you walk the number 9 hitter, and then you have to face Suzuki.
Well, no matter what kind of year Ichiro's having, he's a Hall of Fame hitter. And he'll rise to the occasion. This is a team that has really struggled to score runs. He has 2 hits and been on base 3 times already against Ricky Romero.
Another multi-hit game. That's 38 now this season for Ichiro Suzuki.
Strikes out Brendan Ryan to strand a couple, but Seattle breaks through. Doug Fister finally gets some run support. It's only 1 run. Mariners lead it 1-0. For our nation's most talented performers. Auditions are being held in Vancouver, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto, Montreal, and Halifax. Canada'sGotTalent.com has all the date and location information. We're looking for acts of all ages. Sign up, show up for Canada's Got Talent. Pat Dabler's going to be there. You should too.
What was the date on that? I didn't catch that.
Log on to CanadaSGotTalent.com and you'll know date, locations, and everything else for your Stairway to Heaven audition. I'm going to get you on that show.
No, I'm busy.
I'm getting you on that show.
I'm busy that day.
Can you imagine a guest appearance? And now, Roger Sportsnet own Pat Tabler.
I'd melt.
Yeah, no, we're doing it. You can book it. Doug Fister with a 1-0 lead. And I don't want to hear him whining about no run support anymore. He's already got a run.
There it is. 13 out of 19 starts, he's had 1 or fewer runs to work with. He's had 6 starts where the Mariners have been shut out this year.
You know what? I really like this guy.
Yeah.
You look at him, he's professional. He works quickly. He keeps his infielders engaged. He throws a lot of strikes. And he's confident. I mean, here's a guy with a 3-11 record that's pounding the strike zone. He's a 7th-round pick. Obviously, not a high prospect when the Mariners drafted him, but he's a guy that has obviously worked to develop. And here he is pitching in the big leagues.
Make the adjustments that you have to do. Come out and throw strikes. Thought he had one right there, but he ends up walking Encarnacion to lead off the 5th.
First walk of the game. And look at him holler at the shortstop, say, hey, I got you. And that's an important part of his game. Double plays are always key. Travis Snyder last night in the 4th inning with 2 on.
Home run number 3 to right field. That was after the Mariners could not turn. A tailor-made double play kept the inning alive, and Snyder took advantage of it. He has been hot. He leads the major leagues with extra base hits. He's tied for 2nd in RBI since he has come back.
Tied for 1st in doubles with 9. Pops this one up. Should be playable. Adam Kennedy in foul ground. Boy, that ball tried to pop out of his glove. Kennedy started at first base last night. He's at 3rd base this afternoon. Snyder pops up. Corey Patterson struck out his first time up, chased a high fastball from Fister. Well, we mentioned Fister, and the double play is so important. He has had 14 double plays turned behind him. He and Ricky Romero exactly the same number of double plays. They both get a lot of ground balls and both have a lot of sinking action on their pitches. Corey Patterson didn't want to go, but did.
I've made up my mind. I'm going to look for a fastball, and I'm swinging. He saw fastball, but the ball cut in on his hands. It ended up being a breaking ball.
0-1, 1 out. Ball in the strike. To give you an idea for comparison's sake, the leader in the American League in inducing ground ball double plays, C.J. Wilson, that turned 21 behind him, and right behind him, Matt Harrison, another pitcher with the Rangers. Ichiro comes in on this little looper and gets there, makes the catch, 2 outs. So Fister opened up the frame with a walk to Encarnacion that has picked up 2 outs. I mentioned the Texas Rangers. That's where the Blue Jays are headed next. Finally, they cooled off a little bit.
Yeah. 1 inning.
They got beat 9-8 by the Angels. That snapped their 12-game win streak, so they're probably going to be grumpy when we see them tomorrow night.
They were leading that ball game 8-3 in the 6th inning. And the Angels ended up scoring 6 runs late in that game to take it away from them and make that a little bit closer in the American League West.
J.P. Arencibia gets hit with an inside fastball. There's the weekend in Texas. Jojo Reyes will open it up against Colby Lewis. Carlos Villanueva against the aforementioned Matt Harrison. And then Brett Cecil and Alexi Ogando. Ogando in his first year as a starter, 10-3 with a very good ERA. He made the All-Star team.
Yeah, and he was great his last time out. Ogando.
Just a reminder this weekend, excuse me, Pat, that all 3 games unusually are night games. Sunday night also 7:30 p.m. So all 3 games over the weekend will start at 7:30 p.m. 2 on, 2 outs. Mike McCoy goes after the first pitch and fights it off out of play. Boy, look at Pfister, too. Every time a ball is put in play, he's on the move somewhere.
There was a ball hit the left field early in the game where the shortstop and the second baseman went out. And he was at second base covering just in case the ball would fall in there. He was there. There was a pop up to the third baseman. He sprinted over there to make sure Kennedy had plenty of room. And he did the same thing on that little pop foul ball off the bat of Mike McCoy. Engaged. He's allowed 2 earned runs or less in 10 of his 19 starts this year. I mean, that's pitching. And unfortunately, he didn't have anything really to show for it. He only has 3 wins.
And all they can do is continue to pitch. Give you an idea of what's ahead for the Blue Jays. Friday in Arlington, the temperature is forecast to be 39.4. Base hit, fair ball. Encarnacion is around third. He's going to score. Brian Betterfield will stop Aaron Seavey at third base, and Mike McCoy has tied it up. A 2-out double.
Those 2-out hits are huge. Seattle have one at the top of the inning. Suzuki with the RBI single. Now Mike McCoy keeps it just fair down the left field line. A 2-out double, his 4th of the season. And we are tied.
His 5th RBI was a big one. And now you've got a run producer. Top of the order, Yunel Escobar. First pitch swinging, bouncing ball behind second. But Wilson throws out Escobar, and the Blue Jays strand a pair. But a 2-out double by Mike McCoy getting a start at second has tied the game at 1. We've played 5 here at Rogers Center. Piece here as we start the 6th inning. Ricky Romero gave up a 2-out base hit to Ichiro Suzuki, and Mike McCoy delivered a 2-out double. It's 1-all. What a shot. Father and son enjoying a great afternoon at the ballpark with a big umbrella over the stadium. It's a cool afternoon inside Rogers Center.
You were talking about the heat that the Blue Jays are heading to in Texas. 39 is what? Over 100, isn't it?
103. So it's 103 Friday and Saturday, and it's going to warm up a little bit on Sunday. It's going to be 40 on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, just the way we like it. I got a great story about Arlington. Kennedy pops it out of play. Arlington was a minor league team, AA team. Art Fowler, Billy Martin's great pitching coach over the years, was pitching down there in the summer, and the manager said, "I'm sick and tired of hearing you complain about the weather." It's hot. It's hot. It's always going to be hot here in Texas. So Fowler said, you know, next time I'm fining you $50. There's a fly ball to left field. One down. So sure enough, the next afternoon, Art Fowler's out there pitching, and he comes off the field, and it's smoking hot, about 115, and he comes in the bench, throws his glove down, and says, man, is it hot out there. Just the way I like it.
You can't find him, right?
No, you can't find him. He was thrilled to be pitching in that 115-degree weather. Boy, it can be smoking hot. How about that old ballpark down there?
No, and there's just no air when you're down there. It's amazing how the Rangers, if you play down there by the month of August and September, you're just worn out. And I think it shows how impressive.
Look at Escobar. Speaking of impressive. And the tag by Adam Lind. He came off the bag and tagged Olivo. But what a play by Escobar.
Well, he plays a deep shortstop. And if you do that, you can get back there and snag these type of plays. He knows who's running. A little nonchalant as the ball takes off on him, and Adam Lind is right there to help him out. Olivo is running. Ball took off on him, and Lind alertly comes off the bag and makes the tag. What I was saying was it's impressive what Michael Young has done over the years. Being an everyday player, playing a very demanding position, either shortstop or second base, third base now, and then getting 200 hits every year.
Yeah. You talk about, we talked about this in relationship to Justin Smoak, the hitter that's here now, in his first year as an everyday player. How difficult it is to make the adjustment mentally, to know that you got to get up for every game. And Michael Young has done it his whole career. In stifling heat.
In stifling heat, playing every day, playing a demanding position on teams that are in pennant races.
And you and I both played in Kansas City and played in the middle of the summer there when the artificial turf was 140 degrees. And another guy that played much like Michael Young was George Brett. Every day played like a maniac in that heat and maintained such high standards, played himself into the Hall of Fame, won 3 batting crowns.
Get your ground balls, get your batting practice, take infield. I mean, it was a full day.
Infield?
Yeah, back in the day when they used to take infield.
I remember that. That's where you get the ball and you throw it around and you play catch with each other before the game. Can't remember the last time I've seen that. Probably won't see it this weekend down in Arlington.
No. You better get there early.
Curveball is popped out of play. But you want to tune in on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. See the Texas Rangers. They got a good ball club. Pre-game show starts at 7:30 Eastern Time. Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Jojo Reyes will open up the series. Carlos Villanueva will pitch game 2. And Brett Cecil will go to the mound in the finale. Good changeup. Ricky Romero strikes out. Justin Smoak bounces back after giving up a run in the 5th. Has a 1-2-3 6th. And you get Albert Pujols going, he can carry a team as we've seen in the past. How about that division? That's going to be a lot of fun before it's all said and done. Milwaukee half game ahead of Pittsburgh, 2 games ahead of St. Louis, and Cincinnati lurking 4.5 back.
Where are the Pirates?
Half
Second.
a game in second.
Look at that.
That would be the Pittsburgh Pirates, Tabby. Thames. Oh, he's going to reach first as Olivo went for the baseball barehanded. Thames hesitated and didn't break for first right out of the box, but he'll reach.
What a break for the Blue Jays. You will credit Doug Fister with a strikeout. Thames questioning it on the check swing, not knowing where it is. He's waiting. Now Hallion does the right thing. Tom Hallion right away says, you swung at it, you're out. And then when Olivo went over to pick it up, he dropped it a couple of times.
Now he went to barehanded, which was a mistake because he realized that Thames hadn't broken immediately for first base. Big break now. See if the Blue Jays can cash in on it. Jose Bautista with Thames at first. Big breaking ball. Boy, this is the way things have gone for Doug Fister all year long. I mean, this is why he's 3-11 with a 3.18 ERA. Gets a strikeout, the ball gets away from the catcher, and the guy ends up at first.
15th best ERA in the American League at 3.18.
I tell you what, you can see Bautista has been baffled by Fister here all afternoon. And we haven't seen this very often.
He has been on everything, it seems, all season long. Another check swing, just not picking up the fastball. He's faced him in the past. He's had 5 at-bats against him coming into this game. But so far this afternoon, he just hasn't been able to pick up the movement.
You face guys that didn't necessarily throw as hard as anybody or had the best breaking ball, but they were just uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable?
That's what Fister is.
Yeah. You just don't pick the ball up. When I watch him pitch, he reminds me of Jack McDowell. When McDowell was with the Chicago White Sox. He's long, he's lean, he's got a nice loose arm, and his stuff is very good.
Maybe a little bit like Jeff Weaver as well. A lot of slinging action to the pitch.
Making it tough to pick the ball up.
I think both of those guys would be categorized as uncomfortable. Full count. There goes Thames. The ball is driven to left field. Sean Figgins is not going to get it. Hits off the wall. Eric Thames is getting the go-ahead. Here's the throw from short. Not thrown. Well, Brendan Ryan loaded it all up like he had a shot at home, but decided not to make a throw. Thames scores all the way from first, and the Blue Jays lead it.
Looked like it was a changeup from Doug Fister, and that time Jose Bautista was all over that one. Just hung out over the middle of the plate, and he hits it hard. Thames took off from first base, so he got a running start. Watch where this pitch is. Up and in. Now, in the tandem cutoff and relay, the man behind him has got to be the eyes. He's got to tell Ryan where to throw the ball, and he had a chance, I thought, as things came around. He got the head start here. Came around second base, slowed down, realized the ball's off the wall, and they had a chance right here. But Ryan held the ball.
Lynn pulls the ball to second. Thames will advance over to third, and Lynn has a productive out. Bautista moves over to third base.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Blue Jays are up 2-1. With Encarnacion batting and 1 out, the infield is drawn in. He pops it right straight back at us. Take a look at this relay. It's really unusual. You've got 2 shortstops, Wilson and Brendan Ryan, and Wilson is the eyes behind Ryan.
Yeah, and he's got to be telling him home, 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 and he had a shot. at going there, but then just held the ball.
Now, Wilson's background is as a shortstop, and he's very vocal. I don't know why the throw wasn't made, but Wilson was right there.
The only thing I can think of is Brendan Ryan did not have a good grip on the ball. The only thing I can think of. I mean, he's a good shortstop. He knows how to play. Wilson's the same way.
And he was ready to throw it. He had great body position. He had it locked and loaded, but for some reason he didn't make the throw. Popped up on the infield. Encarnacion broke his bat in frustration. He got a pitch to drive to the outfield.
And got underneath it.
Look at it. Pfister said, let's go. Give me the ball. How about that? He didn't want to talk. He wants to go to work. Thames scored the go-ahead run. Travis Snyder. He's 0 for 2 so far. First pitch, breaking ball. Travis Snyder came back on the 4th of July to rejoin the team. He had a 3-double game against the Red Sox. That got him off and running in his return.
He has had better balance at the plate. His swing is more compact, and he's driving in runs. Only Adrian Beltre and Josh Hamilton have driven in more runs than Travis Snyder this month of July. 17.
He's also had 9 doubles during the month. The ball is driven into center field, and Gutierrez backed up, but he was able to recover. Ball hit off the end of the bat, fooled him for a moment, but he's got enough speed to make the play. But the Blue Jays have taken the lead. A strikeout allowed Thames to reach. Bautista drives him in. Comfort Zone are guests of TD Canada Trust. The TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. And today they're enjoying a enclosed atmosphere here at Rogers Center. Eric Thames has scored the go-ahead run. He struck out and reached on a wild pitch. Josh Bard chases the first pitch down and in. Bard's 0 for 2. Both Ricky Romero and Doug Pfister very similar in the way they pitch. A lot of pitches down in the zone, a lot of movement on their pitches. And as a result, they get about the same number of ground balls hit.
Romero's changeup might be a little bit better than Pfister's. His curveball's got a little bit more biting action on it.
It's the same kind of results. Nobody really squares them up all that often.
lot of ground ball outs. I like Doug Fister's cutting that we have seen today. He's got good movement on. When a player like Jose Bautista can't figure you out or can't square up a lot of your pitches, you know you've got good stuff.
Yeah, and it was a real grind for Bautista in all three of his at-bats. And it was a mistake changeup that was meant to be down and away that stayed on the inner half, and Bautista doesn't miss too many mistakes. Wild pitch got away from Miguel Olivo. And that good changeup. 86 miles an hour, but the movement is what gets barred. 6 strikeout for Romero.
Had him out front just a little bit. That's very creative. Came into this game with 108 strikeouts. Romero.
Blue Jays lead the American League in strikeouts. Brandon Morrow has 117 strikeouts. Morrow with another good effort in last night's game. 7 innings, picked up 7 strikeouts, picked up his 7th win. Remember, Morrow missed the first 3 starts of the season. He was on the disabled list at the time, but boy, is he rocking and rolling right now.
He's had to have a couple of starts where he built up his arm strength to get to where he is right now. But you're right, rocking and rolling right now, just pounding it.
117 strikeouts in 101 2/3 innings.
Said he was a little nervous that first inning facing the Seattle Mariners for the first time. He was a little jacked up a little bit, but got out of it. Bases loaded, nobody out jammed.
You've experienced that.
Sure.
First time you go against a team that you played for.
You want to prove them wrong, that they made a mistake in getting rid of you.
Felt the same way the first time I played against the Royals when I was with the Brewers. Back-to-back strikeouts for Romero here in the 7th. That's 3 strikeouts in a row.
All of them swinging. Good changeup right here. It's a little bit higher than the last time we saw Romero on the mound against the Yankees. Close enough to offer at with 2 strikes.
Sean Figgins fouls it off. Blue Jays lead it 2-1. Mariners lost a tough one in the opener. 6-5 in 14 innings. Blue Jays broke out the bats, put up 11 runs on 14 hits, beat Jason Vargas in game 2, and now Ricky Romero pitching in the 7th inning has a 2-1 lead. Eric Thames has a single. He scored a run. He struck out twice, but it's a productive day. Sean Figgins shows bunt, pulls back, and takes a strike.
Ricky Romero is such a good athlete when he's on that. Very good fielding pitcher. It's going to be tough if you're going to try and bunt on him to push the ball by him. We have seen him make some acrobatic plays this year.
Figgins lays off that changeup. It's 2-2. You know, that wasn't always the case. Romero was athletic, but he had a bad delivery. He ran off the mound toward the third base foul line, and that took him out of a good fielding position. He's rectified that, and now he lands in a very good position on the foul.
Boy, he would fall off toward third base and out of position.
2-2. Cut on and missed. Ricky Romero strikes out to the side in the 7th. He has 4 strikeouts in a row against the Mariners. He is really settled in nicely. Middle of the 7th, Blue Jays lead it 2-1. 1. It's been a couple of doubles, and Mike McCoy got it started back in the 5th.
Gets the start this afternoon at second base and drives in the first run. And then who else? Jose Bautista picks on a changeup and scores Thames all the way from first base with the tie-breaking run just last inning. So the lineup has come up with some big hits when they need it against Doug Fister.
Corey Patterson batting 7th this afternoon. Bautista now has driven in 67 runs. That's 6th in the American League. He's just 11 behind Adrian Gonzalez. Ball slipped out of his hand. You can see Fister look back to the mound as if he caught his spikes in the dirt.
It's getting chewed up now in the 7th inning. Both he and Romero have been out there a long time and going to do some gardening out there.
You would think that Fister lands in a totally different spot than Ricky Romero, given the fact that he is 6'8". But you can see how all that clay has been kicked up with the 6.5 innings of work. Mentioned Doug Fister. He is the worst supported pitcher in the American League. Coming into this game, the Mariners have given him 2.03 runs per start. And now it's a familiar theme. He's given 1 run and he trails. That ball was going to be a tough play. Patterson got out of the box in a hurry. No chance. Ball looked like it hit right off home plate. An infield hit for the speedy Corey Patterson.
How about the hop, the last hop to Brendan Ryan, and he snatched it and made an outstanding play. Patterson is smelling base hit as he comes out of that box thinking base hit, and he stretches right at the end, and he does get the hit. Watch the hop. It took a side bounce. But Ryan, with those good hands, stays right with it, thinks he's got him over at first base, but Patterson just outruns the ball.
Good opportunity here for the Blue Jays. They get the leadoff man on in the 7th. J.P. Arancibia popped up and was hit by a pitch. Shows bunt. Pulls the backpack. Takes the ball.
If you are sacrificing, the first thing you have to do, get a strike. Pitchers are taught to throw the ball right at the top of the strike zone when they see a batter turn around to sacrifice. Try and get them to pop the ball up.
Arancibia hasn't had a sacrifice bunt this season. He's shortened up when Fister went to first. Torey Lovullo with some instructions for Corey Patterson. Quite a good coaching staff here. They really communicate well with the base runners. Lovullo at first, Butterfield at third. Another ball inside. Blue Jays are trying to give Fister an out, and he didn't want to take it. They're both looking across the diamond to check out the signals from Brian Butterfield.
You can change it up. You can hit and run here, but I'm figuring that Arancibia is still going to attempt to sacrifice here. You've got to get that runner to second base.
Swinging, and the pitch is high. Fister all of a sudden having trouble throwing strikes. Right-hander Chris Ray begins to loosen up. Ray worked an inning in last night's game, had a strikeout through just 10 pitches. So he's got plenty in the tank. 3-0. A 4-pitch walk. First 2 reach here in the 7th. Blue Jays will go back to Texas for the second time this season, and after an off day on Monday, the Orioles will come to town. They start a 3-game series on Tuesday night, July 26th, 27th, 28th. Then the Texas Rangers right back home here at Rogers Center. Weekend series. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. You can log on to BlueJays.com and pick up your tickets or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Orioles have had a tough stretch as they have fallen to 19.5 games back. But the Texas Rangers, that's a different story. They have a 4-game lead over the Angels of Anaheim. They have won 9 of their last 10. They had a 12-game winning streak snapped yesterday at the hands of the Angels.
They are pitching and they are hitting, playing good defense like you talked about. They've got a lot of double plays. Going to be tough. Situation here now, first and second. You know Mike McCoy is going to try and lay a bunt down here.
Squares, pulls the bat back. Pfister can't throw a strike. Down at first, the umpire, Phil Cuzzy, said that McCoy offered at the pitch. And now the dugout is wondering why. John Farrell is asking the home plate umpire, Tom Hallion. But the appeal went to first base, and Cuzzy said that McCoy offered at it. So it's a strike. This one's bunted back to the mound and hard. Pfister bobbles it, and everybody's going to be safe. McCoy had a shot, and he had plenty of time to get the lead runner at third, but in his haste to get the ball to third base, he bobbled the baseball.
It's a play that you practice every day in spring training. The first and second bunt play. Looked like they had the #1 defense on, where Pfister's responsibility was the third base line. The ball's bunted too hard and back to the pitcher. He's got plenty of time. But when he tries to transfer from glove to hand, it pops out and all hands are safe.
Mike McCoy credited with the sacrifice. It's an error on the pitcher, and now with the bases loaded, nobody out. Yunel Escobar looking to extend his consecutive games reached to 25. He's not been aboard yet. Now he is. Base hit into center field. Patterson comes in. Aaron Sebia will stop at third. Escobar delivers. He has reached in 25 straight.
Right on cue. Right when you needed it. He has had trouble with the fastball in the inner half. He's been jammed a couple of times already, but this time he's waiting for it. Gets it over the 6'8" Doug Pfister and out into center field as the infield had to come in. 3-1, still nobody out.
Eric Thames has a single and a couple of strikeouts. Thames had a 2-run double in last night's game. 17 RBI for the Jays right fielder.
We were talking about it in last night's game, where you make one little mistake and the whole thing can blow up the inning. They had a wild pitch on a strike 3 when Thames was up last time, and he ended up scoring the tie-breaking run. They were sacrificing a couple of times, and they just couldn't get an out. Ended up walking Aaron Sebia this inning, and then the error by the pitcher.
Fouled into the glove of the catcher. Similar situation in last night's game in the 4th inning. Edwin Encarnacion hit what looked to be an inning-ending double play. They couldn't complete the double play that kept the inning alive, and Travis Snyder hit a 3-run home run.
Little plays like that make getting it out here, getting it out there, turn into big innings when things just aren't going right.
2-2. Outside, full count. Still nobody out, a run in. The Jays have scored a single run in the 5th, 6th, and now here in the 7th. Aaron Sebia at third, McCoy at second, Escobar at first, and now they're trying to sort out the count. It is a full count.
Scoreboard here had it at 3-1, and that's why Miguel Oliva wasn't sure. So he called time and asked the crew chief.
Foul back. Tom Hallion's the crew chief. He is behind the plate. Thames has a chance to bust it wide open. He'll take the RBI on the bases loaded walk. Second walk in the inning. Aaron Sevier scores. Blue Jays have really been swinging hot bats over the last 14 games. They have a 9-5 record, and you look at the offense for the reason that they've been so productive.
And a couple of hitters have gotten hot for them. Edwin Encarnacion, Travis Snyder. It's been the whole team. 11 hits per game. They're averaging almost 7 runs per game. They're hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position. So it's not just this guy or that guy. Right now, every one of them are contributing when they get a chance.
Eric Wedge has taken a long walk, and he will reluctantly take the ball from Doug Fister. Another disappointing outing for Fister. Threw the ball well. He allows just 5 hits, but gives up 4 runs. And he contributed a couple of walks and an error here in this inning. And Chris Ray will come on. Bases still loaded. Nobody out. Nobody out. Jose Bautista. Jose had an RBI double in the 6th. Good hack at a pitch. April 13th, 8th inning of a 1-1 game. Jose Bautista against Chris Ray with 2 on. Hits a 3-run home run. That would start a 6-run 8th inning as the Blue Jays busted it wide open. Ray started that inning, gave up a single to Escobar, a single to Patterson, and then Bautista's home run. Drives it to deep center field. Gutierrez is going to make the catch. Tagging at third is McCoy. Escobar tagged at second. He moves to third. Bautista picks up his 2nd RBI of the day with a sac fly to center.
That replay showed that Bautista hit a breaking ball out of the ballpark for a home run, so Ray was going to challenge him. Bautista got 1 pitch to foul back. That got his timing, and then that fly ball to center field, another fastball as he challenges him. Bautista, after missing a couple of games with the ankle injury, looks like that timing is coming back.
2nd RBI of the afternoon. He now has 67. Adam Lind has gone 0 for 3 so far.
Rajai Davis will take off. If you're going to give it to him, go ahead and steal. He came in as a pinch runner for Thames. As you take a look at Ray's numbers in 26 games, there's Rajai now at second base. They're going to take the bat right out of the hand of Adam Lynn now after that stolen base and take their chances with Edwin Encarnacion.
Davis has 29 steals now as he moves into scoring position. That opens up first base, so Encarnacion will bat with the bases loaded. Davis moves into second place behind Brett Gardner of the Yankees. Gardner has 30. The Jays have scored 3 runs here in the 7th, still just 1 out. I shortchanged Bautista. He now has 68 RBI. That ties him with Kevin Youkilis.
Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Middle of the infield, back in double play depth. Corners are in to cut off a run at the plate.
Edwin Encarnacion looks at an inside fastball. Edwin hit his 7th home run of the season in last night's game. Good cut on an outside pitch. Doug Fister's problems continue. Leaves the ball game trailing 4-1, and they've tacked on a run. That's his run, of course.
They haven't hit too many balls hard against them. A couple of walks here and there. The most walks in a game for Fister since his last start in April. 3 walks, and they've come around to score.
Fister, this is his 20th start, and while he was in the game, the Mariners scored 1 run. That's the 14th time in 20 starts his team has scored 0 or 1 run while he was in the game. This has popped up. Encarnacion has popped up on the infield for a second time. Infield fly rule in effect. 2 down. Encarnacion had a similar situation back in the 6th. He also popped up to the second baseman. Now Travis Snyder will try to pick him up. Bautista's had another good day at the plate. 2 more RBI.
It's a good matchup right here for Travis Snyder. Fastball type of pitcher. A low ball hitter. Ray keeps the ball down.
He pops this one up into left field. Sean Figgins gets underneath it, and the Blue Jays strand the bases loaded. But they add 3 runs here to give Ricky Romero a 5-1 lead. He's set to go back for the 8th. And he is charged with 4 earned runs on 5 hits. He walked 3, as Pat mentioned. That's unusual for Fister. 106 pitches.
12 straight starts now that he has thrown at least 6 innings for the Mariners, and right now just doesn't have anything to show for it because the offense has really struggled when he's been on the mound, and that has led to some losing streaks for the Mariners. The longest in their history came in September of 1992 when that club lost 14 games in a row. Right now they sit at 11, and they were tied a losing streak of 12. That's happened 3 times in their career.
Rajay Davis came on as a pinch runner for Eric Thames. He moves into center field. Patterson goes from left to right, and Travis Snyder goes from center to left. Number 9 hitter Jack Wilson. Start things off here in the 8th inning against Ricky Romero. Bounce to plate. Ricky Romero was on the mound when the Blue Jays had their last sweep. That came on the road at St. Louis. He beat the Cardinals 5-0. And this opportunity to sweep the Mariners certainly would catapult the Blue Jays back over 500. They have not been at 500 since June 18th. Not been over 500 since June 18th. 1 out in the 8th.
This start by Romero reminds us of that start in St. Louis where he had command of his curveball. He had command of his breaking ball. Threw a complete game shutout against the Cardinals, and he kept the ball down. 93 pitches now into the 8th inning. This is much better. This is one of the things that we were talking about on that scouting report. More strikes, less pitches. It'll take you deep.
In his 3 previous July starts, he was near 20 pitches per inning, 19.9. He's been very economical today. Ichiro Suzuki's been aboard 3 times. He's driven in the only Mariner run. Prospects don't get any better for the Seattle Mariners. They go from here to Boston, and from Boston to New York, and then back home to Seattle for an off day, and the Tampa Bay Rays will be in town. They get a steady diet of AL East teams.
They get Lackey, Beckett, and Wakefield in that series at Fenway Park.
Ichiro McCoy quickly to Romero, and not in time. There's a lack of communication there between Lind, McCoy, and Romero. Adam Lind went after it initially, pulled off, but then instead of going to the bag, just kind of backed up and hoped that Romero could beat Ichiro to first.
You will learn that when a left-handed batter's up on a ball hit like this, can my second baseman get to it? And 9 times out of 10, when it's topped like that, that slow ground ball, as a first baseman, just get over there, get to the bag, and let the second baseman flip you the ball. Anytime you can eliminate the pitcher in the play, it gives him some time to just take it easy. That's what you're going to do.
Ichiro has his 3rd hit, 38th multi-hit game for Ichiro. Brendan Ryan's had a tough day at the plate after a good start in this series. He's hit into a double play and struck out twice. 5-1 Blue Jays lead it. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Bounced foul. Difference in Ryan today as opposed to his first 2 games. He's chasing that inside pitch. They're pitching him inside, and he's accommodating the Blue Jays. He's taking those pitches and swinging at them. Pounding him inside, and it looks like Romero is using his cut fastball on the inner half to keep Ryan from extending. He's taking some funky swings against Ricky Romero here this afternoon. Ricky Romero needed a game like this. They'd mentioned his struggles in July, but he's been in total command of the Mariners here this afternoon.
You know where it started? I think in the first inning, the second batter of the game. He had given up an infield single to Ichiro, facing the hot hitter in Ryan, and his defense bailed him out. Got the ground ball to the shortstop to Escobar in the middle of the diamond, turned it. Instead of just 1 out, they got 2, nobody on, and he's been smooth sailing ever since.
When you really think about it, 4 hits for the Mariners. 2 of them have stayed on the infield. Ichiro has 2 infield hits. He's got 3 of the 4 against Ricky. Oh, 2 on Brendan Ryan. We mentioned the Blue Jays at 49 and 49. They have not been at 500 or over 500, excuse me, since June 18th. They were 36 and 35. That's a great feeling when you can get up over 500. Give yourself some cushion. Romero, third base side, takes too long and misses the bag. Throws it wide of first. It's an infield hit for Brendan Ryan. A couple of infield hits with one out here in the eighth.
Told you he's a good fielder. He can get off the mound. He's there. And when he turns to throw, the ball just sails on him. Lynn comes off the bag and keep it in front of him, keep the double play in order. And now Bruce Wallen's out there to talk a little bit about how they're going to pitch to Kennedy and Olivo.
Casey Jansen is standing by. He's ready to come into this game if needed. Casey Jansen picked up the win on Tuesday night. He pitched the 14th inning, gave up a walk, had a strike, had a couple of strikeouts, and he picked up his third win of the season. Adam Kennedy 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Blue Jays turned a double play behind Romero in the first. Bounced foul. Jason Vargas started in game 2 last night, went 3 innings, gave up 5 earned runs on 6 hits, and he had some control issues, 5 walks. Michael Pineda started the opener, went 6 1/3. Blue Jays got to him for 5 earned runs. Had a chance to meet Michael Pineda yesterday. What a pleasant young man. Very humble, very appreciative of his situation. Made his first All-Star team. He's 22 years old.
Was he sitting down when you met him?
Yes. I would never talk to him standing up. I would look like a midget.
He is a big guy.
He's 6'7", weighs 250. 3-1. Romero falls behind. Felix Hernandez with the cap off. He's the reigning Cy Young Award winner. He's just 25. So the pitching prospects for Seattle very positive. But at the same time, they're looking at a 12-game losing streak.
Hard to imagine when you've got that type of pitching that you get into a losing streak of that length. Ricky Romero's afternoon is going to be done. A couple of infield singles, and then he can't find the plate to Adam Kennedy. Pitch count up to 110, so John Farrell got a reliever ready for this situation. And he makes the move.
Ricky Romero gets 22 outs here this afternoon. Pitches into the 8th, goes 7 1/3. He will leave in line for the win, looking for his 8th win. 8 strikeouts for Romero. He'll turn things over to the bullpen. 5-1 Blue Jays. saves with the bases loaded. Turn things over to Casey Jansen. Romero's allowed 5 hits. 3 of those hits have been picked up by Ichiro Suzuki. Casey Jansen picked up the win on Tuesday.
3 of them also of the infield variety. Bases loaded, 1 out. Jansen trying to clean this one up right here. If he can make a good pitch, he'll get out of it with a ball on the ground. Jansen has pitched superb baseball all season long. Missed some time on the disabled list with that elbow forearm problem. He made 4 appearances in New Hampshire. That's the AA affiliate for the Blue Jays. 5 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts.
Long drive to center field. Rajai Davis looks up. This ball is gone. Grand slam home run. Miguel Olivo. And just like that, it's a tie game. Ricky Romero will pick up a no decision. Olivo has 13 home runs now and 1 swing of the bat, and it's a 5-5 game. Right out over the middle of the plate.
Dead center field, 3-4 RBIs with that, giving him 44. And it's the first grand slam of the season by the Mariners.
And the Mariners have scored at least 5 runs in all 3 of these games.
First time since June 2nd and 3rd that they've scored at least 5 runs in back-to-back games.
Justin Smoke. Broken bat. Loper into right field. Corey Patterson can't get there. It bounces past him. Davis is there to back him up. Boy, how things change quickly. The number 9 batter, Jack Wilson, made it out. And then Ichiro had an infield hit. A little lack of communication over at first base. He beat Romero to the bag. Brennan Ryan got a chopper to the mound, an infield hit. Kennedy walked, and then 1 swing of the bat, the grand slam. Ricky Romero's line. 7 in the 3rd, 5 hits, all 4 of the earned runs charged to Romero. The home run charged to Casey Jansen.
9 strikeouts for Romero, and he was cruising right along, and now we'll get a no decision.
Josh Bard. Bard's the DH this afternoon. A couple of strikeouts and a flyout. Well, one thing you got to say about this Mariner team, they don't give up. Jack Wilson made the first out of the inning, but then Ichiro started things off. A couple of infield hits, a walk, and a grand slam.
You know, it was harmless, like you were saying. A little ground ball to the right side. He rolled over on a pitch from Romero. Miscommunication. He's on, and then a chopper out in front of home plate. The wild throw over to first base. And Ryan will be credited with an infield single and then a 4-pitch walk.
Ball on the strike. He talked to Eric Wedge before the game about the temperament of his ball club, and sometimes you lose 11 in a row and things can get pretty nasty, but that's not been the case with the Mariners.
They've had some young players learning at the big league level, and he was telling me today that the veterans like Jack Cust and Sean Figgins have been very good for this team. They offering, you know, encouragement, teaching some of these young players, keeping their head up, battle through this. You can learn a lot about your ball club when you lose 11 in a row and how you play the game.
You can learn a lot more about them during an 11-game losing streak than you can during an 11-game win streak. Jack Cust, the veteran, has not had the kind of offensive year he would like, but he's kept everything afloat. He and Jamie Wright, the veteran leaders. 2-2, 1 out. Full count. Blue Jays scored 3 runs in the 7th, made it a 5-1 game, but the Mariners have stormed back here in the 8th. Mariners had a 4-run second inning in the opener. Three and two, 1 out. Ball gets away. It's foul ball. It didn't look like Bard thought it was a foul ball. Tom Hallion raised his hands up as if it were. Aaron Sevilla started to chase it as if it was just a swing and a miss.
But I think that's why Justin Smoke, the runner at first base, took off. The ball is just tipped by Bard.
I don't think it was tipped by Bard. 3 and 2, 1 out. Ball is lined into right field. I think Bard struck out on the previous pitch.
Watching the replay, I agree with you. Hallion said that he tipped it. On the replay, it wasn't even close. And now he's going to pick up a base hit.
And John Farrell is out of the dugout on his way to the mound. John Roush, the big right-hander, will come on and try to calm things down here in the 8th. The Mariners have sent 7 men to the plate. They have scored 4 runs. There's still just 1 out, 2 on. John Roush in to try to put out the fire. Up and out, gives up a home run and 2 singles. Miguel Oliva with the grand slam. First grand slam for the Mariners all season long. John Roush in with 2 on and 1 out. Franklin Gutierrez, the center fielder. Roush pitched the 9th inning on Tuesday night. A clean inning with a strikeout.
He has inherited 12 runners this year when he has come into the ball game, and he has stranded all but 1 of them.
Popped up. Escobar makes the call. The infield fly rule was in effect, and Roush gets the first batter he faced. But the Mariners will send their 9th hitter to the plate. Bases are still loaded. Greg Hallman has come into the game as a pinch runner. He's at second base. He's running for Justin Smoke. Hallman represents the go-ahead run. Sean Figgins, the 9th man to bat for Seattle in the 8th. Just when you think you got the game figured out.
Yeah. It looked like Romero was cruising. He got the first out here in the 8th inning. A couple of infield singles and a walk. And then the big blast, and you're like, it's time. There's no way.
What happened? Casey Jansen didn't get an out.
And he had been pitching so well, too. Miguel Olivo gets a fastball, and he's got 12 home runs, which is tied for the lead on his team for the most.
Very frustrating inning for John Farrell, the manager. Went into the 8th with a 5-1 lead.
And Ricky was rolling. He had struck out 4 in a row. And then started that 8th inning with an easy ground ball out.
Romero had a stretch of 8 retired straight after getting Jack Wilson to start the inning. Then a little chopper to second base. Lynn, McCoy, Romero couldn't get their signals straight. Ichiro picked up his 3rd hit of the afternoon. Then a chopper to the third base side of the mound. Brendan Ryan had an infield hit, and then Kennedy walked. 2-2, 2 outs. Strike 3 call. What a job by John Roush. He continues to dominate when he comes in with base runners on. He gets the pop-up and then the strikeout. The game is tied at 5-all. Now it's time for a connected update with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. New game, bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 5-5 game, and the Blue Jays saw entirely too much of David Pauley. In the opener of this series, Pauley came into the game in the 10th, had 3 innings of 1 hit relief with a couple of strikeouts.
Tied for first in wins in the American League among relievers. Second in innings pitched with 51. His ERA is 6th best at 1.75. You mentioned those 3 shutout innings. He was outstanding. Hallman came in to pinch run for Smoke. He stays in the game. Lots of changes now. Sean Figgins, who started in left, is now at third base, and Adam Kennedy moves across the diamond to first base after they pinch ran for Justin Smoke.
So it'll be 7-8-9 for the Blue Jays here. Corey Patterson shows button, takes a strike. Brand new ball game. Seattle scoring 4 runs in the 8th inning. The first Grand Slam home run of the season for the Mariners. Bouncing ball, Wilson has it. 1 down. Boy, Pauley was very efficient in his 3 innings of work on Tuesday night. Came into that tie game in the 10th. Got Bautista and Lynn, then gave up a single to Encarnacion, but he struck out Snyder to end the inning. That was his first inning of work. Had a 1-2-3 11th and 1-2-3 12th.
In 1 day off and right back at it.
J.P. Arancibia takes a strike.
Mariners know that they were a little bit short in relievers, so they made a roster move right before the ball game today. Brought up another reliever.
Josh Lukey is back with the team. Blue Jays saw Lukey in April when they were out west. But right now it's on the shoulders of David Pollock, and he's been good. Oh, and 2, 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Jays playing for the sweep. They've not had a sweep since the end of June against the Cardinals.
Paulie's got a good sinking fastball. He's been running it in on the righties. There it is right there. Takes a little off and picks up the strikeout.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
2 down. Mike McCoy's had a good day at the plate. Had an RBI double in the 5th inning. Scored in the 7th. Surreal gut check for the Blue Jays. Going into the game late with a comfortable lead. Now they got to dig down deep.
And they'll get the best relievers that the Mariners have to offer.
Haven't seen Brandon League yet. First 2 games, they haven't had an opportunity to use Brandon League, and he's coming off his first All-Star appearance. There's a base hit down the left field line. Hallman over quickly to cut it off. McCoy is headed for second. The throw is not in time. Hallman double clutched on the warning track, and that extra time allowed McCoy to reach second.
And he was thinking about extra bases as soon as the ball left his bat. Hooks it down in the corner. The whole key for the outfielder, get over there, cut the ball off, but his momentum takes him to the corner. He does have a good arm, but McCoy thinking 2 right out of the box makes it with an aggressive slide.
Second double of the afternoon. The go-ahead runs in scoring position. Yunel Escobar had a base hit his last time up. One and 0. 2 outs. Upstairs, just out of the strike zone.
Paulie can be tough on right-handers. He's got that crossfire motion. Can run the ball in on him. He'll throw a slider down and away. Right-handers hitting just 220 against him. You got to really pick one side of the plate, inside or the outside, if you're going to hit against this big right-hander.
See Jack Wilson keeping an eye on McCoy, trying to cut down his lead at second. Right on the outside corner. Mariners outfield after the defensive change and Hallman taking over on left. They've got good arms. Ichiro, of course, has a great arm and charges the ball very well. Same for Gutierrez in center. Down and away. Rajai Davis came on as a pinch runner in the 8th inning. He's on deck. (3-1) takes the walk. So Escobar's aboard for a second time. Rajai Davis came on as a pinch runner after Thames walked in the 7th. Davis had a stolen base, and he'll bat for a first time. 2 outs. Takes a pitch upstairs.
Seeing the ball a lot better over his last 14 games, hitting over 300. It's the stolen bases. He won the game for him the other day with his legs. Now let's see if he can win it with his bat.
Shoots it into right field. That's over Ichiro's head, and that's going to score 2. The ball is up against the wall. The throw to the plate not in time. Rajai Davis thought the ball bounced out of play, and he broke it down, and you could see he barely made it into second. The throw went to the plate. 2 runs come in to score, and Davis drives in a couple of runs with a 2-out double.
Doing it coming off the bench, did not start today, but picks on a pitch, and he drives it to right field. We have seen balls just like this take that one bounce and then head out of the ballpark, but it stays in right off the top of the wall, run down by Ichiro. And this is what you were talking about. He thought it was a ground rule double, but then realizes that Ichiro picks the ball up, the ball's in play. There was no one at second base because the infielders had gone out to form a tandem.
At the same time, you got to run everything out, let the umpire stop you. Don't assume a thing. But anyway, they drive in 2. That's going to put the Blue Jays up by 2. Bautista is getting the intentional pass with first base open.
This was the situation the other night when they had a right-hander in first base open. They elected to pitch to Bautista. Great. And he singled to tie the game up.
7th inning. After the sac fly off of Aaron Laffey, they went to the bullpen, brought in Gray, and pitched to Bautista with the base open.
With the left-hander on deck. So they learned their lesson. And you don't see that very often where the right-hander intentionally walks the right-handed hitter to face the left-handed hitter.
So now there are 2 down. Davis always a threat to run at second base. He's already had a steal here tonight. He's got 29 now for the season, and Brendan Ryan is standing right behind Davis. Adam Lynn drives it to left field. Greg Harmon is there. He'll make the catch, and Blue Jays strand 2. But they come up with a couple of big runs. A 2-out double by Rajai Davis has put them ahead. We'll head to the 9th inning. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Connected, here's Brad Fay. speed boost. Goodbye waiting. Another first only from Rogers.
Rajai Davis won the game the other night with his legs with a stolen base, scoring on a sacrifice fly, and now here in the bottom of the 8th inning has a chance to win it with his bat. Drives a ball over the head of Ichiro Suzuki for 2 big runs to put the Blue Jays back out ahead 7-5.
Dustin Ackley comes on as a pinch hitter, batting for the number 9 hitter, Jack Wilson. Rajai Davis has had an impact in this series. Won a game with his legs in the opener, and now gives the Blue Jays a lead. Ackley off the bench. Started the first 2 games of this series. He's only had one other pinch hit at bat so far this season. He got a hit.
He looked good yesterday. He had a home run down the right field line. And now this is not what you're looking for. 3-0 count to lead off the 8th inning. He'll probably be taking a couple of pitches. He's trying to get that tying run to the plate. Mariners, Buck, have had 20 come from behind wins this year, which is tied for 3rd in the American League.
This ball is popped up into shallow center field. Yunel Escobar is taking charge. 1 out. So Ichiro Suzuki will bat. Ichiro has 3 hits today. 2 of them never left the infield, but that's what he does.
59 of them last year, and he has done this before against the Blue Jays. Came into this game a .342 career hitter against Toronto, which is the 7th best in the history of the Blue Jays.
He's had 1 4-hit game this season. Down and away, catches the corner. Mariners have out-hit the Blue Jays 8-7. Miguel Oliva with the grand slam in the 8th inning. Mariners came up with 4 runs on 5 hits. Oliva with his team leading 13th homer. Three and 1. John Roush pitching for the win. High fly ball. Corey Patterson is in right field and takes the catch. Mariners down to their final out.
That's a big out, keeping Suzuki off the bases and bring that tying run to the plate.
Rajai Davis with a big hit. A 2-run, 2-out double. First pitch strike. Strike 2. That's what John Roush does.
That's right. He comes out of that bullpen throwing strikes. 2 quality pitchers right there to put Brendan Ryan in a big hole.
Two-strike base hit. Brendan Ryan keeps things alive. His 2nd hit of the day.
They have been pitching him inside all day. He hit into a double play his first time. Ricky Romero struck him out his next 2 times up by keeping the ball inside. They jump ahead 0-2. This is where he likes the ball. He likes the ball up and away. And he bangs it right back through the middle to keep the inning going.
Brendan Ryan has 8 hits in the series. Adam Kennedy has power. Kennedy hit a home run in the 8th inning, his 7th.
Last night against Frank Francisco, first pitch fastball.
Kennedy is 3 for 5 against John Roush in their head-to-head matchups. Checked his swing. Went too far. Lance Barrett down at third. Brings him up. 0-2. Same situation with Ryan.
Yeah, he has used that backdoor cutter, that backdoor slider to the left-handers very effectively this year. Do you set it up or do you go right to that strikeout pitch? Kennedy is a very good fastball hitter.
0-2. Went for that outside edge with the cutter. Olivo is on deck. 1-2, 2 outs. Come on and miss. Blue Jays will win it. John Roush strikes out Adam Kennedy to end it. A good bounce back after the Blue Jays coughed up the lead with 4 runs in the 8th. Rajay Davis comes off the bench and delivers for a second time in this series a 2-run opposite field double. And the Blue Jays win the series, sweep the Mariners, and have gone over 500. 50-49 for the first time since June 18th.
Roush with his 4th win of the season. He finished off the 8th inning and then had the 9th inning where he just gave up that 1 hit. But Rajay Davis has hit the big hit in this ball game.
Blue Jays will go to Texas tonight, take on the Rangers of the weekend. They win at 7-5. Now it's time for a connected post-game report. Jamie and Greg from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio.